How's it going?
Hey.
I apologize for the train that's passing.
There's a train passing? That's
Yeah, I'm
awesome.
parked right next to a railroad. So
That's interesting. Wait, so you said you're in the central time zone right now, right?
yeah, I'm in. Where am I? It's a question I ask myself almost every day. I am in New Orleans. I'm in New Orleans.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Steven's actually
Yeah.
from he was born in Lafayette, and then his family's from Natchitoches, which is like this weird small little town in Louisiana, kind of close to Texas.
Okay.
Um,
Cool.
that's funny. Well, my
It is.
first question, how do you pronounce your username? Steven and I argue about this.
Me too with myself. It's based on one of Tolkien's languages, and I don't remember which one because it was so long ago. I think it's Sindarin, but I'm not sure. Um, so I never actually figured out exactly what the correct pronunciation was, but I usually pronounce it Amulgagar, but
Amulgagar. That's how I
that's how
pronounce
I
it. So
that's how I kind of pronounce it in my head. But
Amulgagar. Awesome. Thank you. That way I always feel good about how I'm pronouncing it. Do you remember how you first heard about code spells?
it was during the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I don't remember how I found it. I know that was right when I was like, really interested in Kickstarter in general and looking at a lot of different projects on there. So I might have been that I just found it on Kickstarter. Uh,
Okay.
the concept, the concept for code spells is actually something that I've really like. The idea is an idea that I had come up with years before and been really interested in potentially making someday. Though at the time I don't know, probably 10 when I came up with the idea originally.
Yeah.
So it was something that moved to the back of my mind as I got older. But when I saw the project, oh wait, no, actually, you know what? I think my best friend told me about it.
Oh,
I
really?
think he had seen something about it,
Like maybe
and he
on
mentioned it.
I think we had posted stuff on like 9gag that went viral and on Imgur.
Yeah, yeah, I
Is he a
remember that. Yeah,
9gagger?
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I should probably know that about my best friend, but I don't remember.
Yeah, no.
um, but yeah, it was one of those. I think either he told me about it, or I stumbled across it on Kickstarter because I was browsing Kickstarter at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you were saying that like it appealed to you because you had kind of like had this idea before of like a game
yeah. In
um
fact, I had actually even attempted to make some rudimentary attempts at like just like a text-based, well, spell coding game, kind of.
yeah.
Um, but just the idea that I've always had an interest in hard magic systems, and so I've always wondered why doesn't someone just like implement that as in a game. It seems like it should be something that should be implemented more often, but instead we usually have stuff where it's just click that button, that spell
Yeah.
goes off. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
I've always thought hard magic systems were really cool, and so yeah,
That's awesome. How did you get introduced to like hard magic systems? Was it like
I kind of made them up,
really?
really, to be honest. I mean, like I've always been a fantasy fan, but my interest in specifically hard magic is just I think it just stems from my personality as a whole. I really like things to make sense, and if they don't, I like to make them make sense. So,
Yeah.
reading the Lord of the Rings and whatever, I would be like, okay, well, that's happening. Why is that happening? There's got to be an explanation for why this thing causes this other thing. So it
Yeah.
kind of just naturally led me to the concept of hard magic. And in fact, I didn't even know the term for years after it was, my preferred form of magic. But eventually I discovered the term. And
Yeah, no, that's
yeah.
awesome. And so do you think like Tolkien specifically was like your introduction to magic, or was there something before like Lord of the Rings or
You've got magic and fairy tales growing up and everything.
for sure?
But probably the first series that I really read that where magic had a major influence was the Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh, yes,
Um,
I remember that one. So
mhm.
fun.
Yeah, definitely. I've read that
Yeah.
one a couple times. But then what really solidified me as a fantasy fan and a fan of like magic systems and stuff was Lord of the Rings and the rest of like the Silmarillion and the rest of Tolkien stuff. So all that.
Did you go like the video game route, or did you go like the Dungeons and Dragons route after like reading those books? Like I feel like I've talked to people who like, I don't know, have like continued their like interest in magic on like one of those two paths. Was that something?
Yes, I followed both of those paths.
Both of them?
Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely. In fact, the same friend who may or may not have introduced me to code spells, I don't remember. He and I, one time when we were probably 10 or so, asked our parent. We'd heard of Dungeons and Dragons and it sounded cool, and so we asked our parents, "Hey, can we play this?" And they were like, "Yeah, you're probably a little too young for that." So we made up our own tabletop role-playing game system.
You made your
Which was fun.
own?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It was fun. We played it for years. I don't remember how it worked anymore. We never wrote down the rules. It was just memorized. But it was fun. Once I got older and I did start actually playing Dungeons and Dragons, which is still one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
But I've also, done a lot of video games and stuff, and I really enjoy that as well. So I'm all over the place.
Yeah. Were there any like specific Magic video games that were like particularly interesting to you, or did they always feel like they were limiting, or?
They were always kind of disappointing, to tell the truth. It just doesn't feel as magical,
Yeah.
It doesn't even feel like, I like I said, I like hard magic systems, so like magic as a science, basically. But most magic systems in most video games aren't even that. They're just kind of click a button and it does something.
I
It's like
know.
I don't know. It's disappointing most of the time. I feel like there may have been one or two examples where it wasn't so much that way, but I can't think of them off the top of my head.
Yeah, so they weren't like that
Yeah.
impactful. Do you remember how you first got involved with the Code Spells community? Like, I know you were part of the Kickstarter. Do you remember like how, I don't know, how things evolved from there after you started on the Kickstarter?
Yeah. So I got involved in the community and everything. And actually, I don't think I actually backed the Kickstarter project.
Oh, that's okay. Tell me about it.
Because no, I didn't. Because I remember, because I got really deeply involved on the forums,
On the forum.
and
Yeah.
then we had that first competition.
The
That
tournaments?
yeah. The spell making, the one where it was like make your best spell or whatever, and
Yeah.
I think the prize was a free key, and I don't remember who won, but whoever won gave me their key.
That's awesome.
Because I'd been super involved in the community and everything, and
That's
so
so cool.
I
You
actually
the
got into the
key.
game through
Oh,
I
that's
got
such
into
a
the
good
game through the
story.
community rather than the other way around.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So very first tournament, we have this prize and you essentially get awarded.
Pretty much. Yep.
Oh, that's so cool. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any fond memories that you can share about your time with the Code Spells community?
A lot. Honestly, it was great. I really loved the whole community. Everybody was super friendly and always helping each other out too. Do I have to pick one?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell a couple if you want.
What's a good one? Well, really, the PvP tournament we did was super fun. We were just talking about that yesterday in Discord, and I went back and rewatched most of those matches, and that was a lot of fun to organize. It was a lot of fun to watch. If I remember correctly, I only got to actually be there for like 2 or 3 of them because I had to do something that day.
Yeah.
I think, but it was a lot of fun. The whole thing was super fun. It was really fun, reading through everybody's spell lists and, trying to figure out what the rules should be. That was just a lot of fun all around.
And last question, is there anything like specific you're hoping to like see from like the relaunch of Code Spells?
Yes and no.
All right.
One of the most specific, one of the least specific things that I'm most interested in is just specifically to see where it does go. I'm super curious to see what directions it takes as it continues to evolve, and just what everybody does with it as it gets further along. Because that was one of the coolest things with Code Spells before, was just seeing all the spells everybody came up with, and some super creative ones.
Mm-hmm.
But So that's probably the thing I'm most excited to see as we go forward, is just to see what direction it ends up taking, and what branches split off from it as people are seeing things move in one direction or another.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
so out of everything, that's definitely the thing I'm most excited to see going
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm just like super excited to see like where the community takes it, since like we're trying to build the authoring tool so that the community can kind of like build whatever they want to see.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
I can kind of imagine different like kind of pods of community members breaking off and like working on different projects. So
We
I'm just
even saw that. We even saw that back previously.
Mhm.
Like, people would work on a specific spell as a
Together.
group, like a really major project. Like a group of 3 or 4 people would all, focus on working on that for a couple of days, couple of weeks, even a couple
Oh,
of months sometimes. And yeah, I could definitely see that happening
right?
as we
Yeah.
go forward. So
Yeah, just the fact that they were like Angalor and like some of them were like still working on the game, like
yeah,
during that like dark period. Uh, it just like makes me like wonder what people are gonna come up with. Like
I know.
excited about that part.
I'm just really looking forward to seeing where things go. I'm super excited that this is
Yeah.
back up and running like this, and yeah, I'm just really glad that Angular sent me that message yesterday, a couple days, whenever he sent me, saying, "Hey, they're back, right?" I was like,
Yeah.
"What?"
Yeah. When I posted on the Discord, the old Discord server, and like Angler was still on there, I think chatting with Ghost Slayer. Is that his name? No, yeah, Ghost Slayer 31. They were just like chatting, and I was like, "Hey guys, it's back!" It was so funny to see people's reactions as they like came back into the Discord server and were like, "What?" Like, it was a fun day that day. Oh,
Yeah,
cool. Well, thanks so much for taking time out of your day, and it was nice to like meet you and like get to know, you as a person.
yeah, definitely. It's been fun.
Yeah, cool. Well, I will see you on Discord.
All right, see you there.
All right, drive safe.